Hello, everyone. Namo Myo Renge Kyo. Thank you for being here. Thanks for supporting this channel and all of the resources that are supported through this YouTube channel, which these videos are also posted on Patreon and on Odyssey. Is it .com or .net? Odyssey. I don't remember. Anyway, like, subscribe, especially. Those who can't, when you buy books from the bookstore or the ebooks on the threefoldlotus.com site, super important to help keep us going here, pay the bills, and produce videos and podcasts and all the like. I'm up today because I received some new incense. Yay! It's like opening gifts in the mail. Aloes wood, my favorite, and then the larger incense for here at the school. These are sandalwood, but they're good ones. And anyway, some people ask or have asked what incense I use and so on. So thought I'd just come on, clothing, what a bother. Anyway, I hope you're in good health as he coughs and secure. Yes, I'm still recovering from neck surgery. And so if you see this thing in my neck here, this incision, it looks pretty gruesome, but don't be alarmed. I hope it's not too... I'd like to cover it, but they've cautioned me not to get fibers of anything caught in the stitches and so forth. So hopefully it won't be too distracting for you. All right. So, I didn't plug this in. We are continuing with our discussions from the Gosho collected in the Nichiren on Mandala and Gohonzon. We read yesterday the reply to Jijo-Bo, one of several letters that Nichiren wrote to Jijo-Bo. Really intense one. Very short, but very comprehensive letter. If you didn't see that yesterday's video or podcast, highly encourage you to check it out. It's packed full, as many of these are, right? In fact, as I'm talking about it, just a quick reminder, remember the study page on threefoldlotus.com has all these links and more than I'm showing here, obviously, but many many study materials to help you in your journey, in your confidence, right? Things like the Lotus method, which is a multi-page document linked on that study page, and the quick reference guide for the different characters of the Daimoku, right? So you have up here Myo and Ho and Rengege, and some quick. So it's just some words to help you recall. Oh yeah, that's where this sits. That's where this sits. That's what's going on with that. And of course the ebook page where you can download these books without having no shipping or anything, because it's just a PDF or an ebook. Easy to download and read on your devices. So, and again, I encourage you, if there's a book that you see in the print bookstore on lulu.com that I've not provided an ebook for and you're interested in it, let me know. I've just put what I thought were the core Nichiren doctrine, Lotus Sutra, Shakyamuni's teachings, practice of this Buddhism in book form, including the mandala, which you can download now as a PDF. Yeah. Some people have had issues ordering from the cafepress.com/Gohonzon store, in that their Butsudan is a small Butsudan, and they couldn't fit the there's a travel size mandala in there that's actually, Cafe Press I think calls it a card or a greeting card, but it's an imprint of this Nichiren inscribed mandala. But whatever the case, especially if you get a framed one from the online resource, it may not fit in a smaller butsudan. And so I thought, well, rather than trying to create myriad size mandalas on the store, which isn't either available or easy or whatever, I thought, why not just make the PDF available for people so you could print it out to the size you need, right? You can put it on your computer. You can, in your print dialog box, you can fit it to a piece of paper, just fit the page, or so on and so forth. You know how to do that. And print it on some nice, parchment paper, white paper, handmade paper, as long as it doesn't distract at all from the calligraphy, a nice clean piece of paper, rice paper, cotton paper, whatever, something archival, something that's not going to yellow over time, obviously. And then print and mount on a gator board or some other hard material. Make your own mandala, or not make it, but mount your own version, your own size of mandala. So that's why I made that available on that same ebook page on threefoldlotus.com. Okay, enough business. Reply to lay priest Soya. In this letter to a fellow monk and potential propagator of the Myoho Rengekyo, Nichiren focuses on the Gohonzon aspect of enlightenment as a purely mental and experiential practice and aim, goal. These directions for recitation, Gongyo, are meant to develop focus on this point. So that's my little preface to this Gosho. So here we go. Ready? I have written out the prose section of the Expedient Means chapter for you. And you remember, there were no publishers, right? I was just talking about ebooks. And in Nichiren's day, there were no book publishers or print publishers. Everything was transcribed by hand. So a very long, arduous, prescribed process, yeah? It's quite something to have a written out copy of a book or a sutra by your teacher given to you. Wow, it's really amazing, yeah? It wasn't easy to get a mandala. And so what Nichiren has done, is he's taken the second chapter of the Lotus Sutra, the Expedient Means chapter, right? And he's copied it out for this monk. You should recite it together with the verse portion of the Lifespan chapter, which I sent you earlier. So earlier, right, we talk about Gongyo being A, B, and C section. Some people, anyway, it varies, right? But generally, the two chapters, right, the second chapter and the 16th chapter. And the 16th chapter is broken into two sections where it has the discourse, the sermon, if you will. And then there's the prose section, which is easy to memorize and keep locked down in your practice, right? So what Nichiren has done is he's sent this monk the prose section of the Lifespan chapter, which basically covers the entire sermon, has some extra things thrown into it to memorize. And now he's sending him the Expedient Means chapter, right? I apologize. I hope you'll tolerate my healing process here. The characters of this sutra, Nichiren continues, are all without exception living Buddhas of the perfect enlightenment, the expression of Myoho Rengekyo. But because we have the eyes of ordinary people, we see them as characters. Now, I've talked about this a lot. Remember, people get stuck on the idea that we chant these magical words, but they're not words. They're conceptual mental exercises to realize the Dharma, right? They're, if you want to break it down into sounds, rhythm, vibrations, right? frequencies, whatever. It's all of those things. But what it is critically, because Buddhism is about the mind, attitude, and intent, is about the thinking, the mental process required and useful, available to us, every sentient mind, to instantiate our clarity of understanding of the engine of life, Gohonzon, yeah? To experience Buddhahood. So this is what he's saying, is that the characters of the sutra are all, without exception, living Buddhas of the perfect enlightenment, Myoho Renge-kyo. Every character is built upon this realization. This is the Gohonzon, yeah? The Dharma itself. But because we have eyes of ordinary people, not because physically we have eyes, what he's talking about is ordinary people are samsaric sentient minds. That the I consciousness is parameterized, limited, you would say, by samsaric mental understanding, mental parameters. Remember, I talk about the database, the warehouse of identification. With that warehouse of identification, we constrict the meaning and the perception of our I. So that's the ordinary human I. But with the I, the Buddha I, that's not this I, that's the I of the mind. The potential to understand far exceeds what the human eye can perceive. Do you see? So this is what he's saying. Because we have the eyes of ordinary people, we see them as characters or words. But don't be stuck there, because that's not why they exist. For instance, hungry spirits perceive the Ganges River as fire, human beings perceive it as water, and heavenly beings perceive it as amrita. Though the water is the same, it appears differently according to one's karmic reward from the past. In other words, moment to moment, how we've assembled our understanding, our perception of the world, colors, quote unquote, our experience. The blind cannot see the characters of this sutra. To the eyes of ordinary people, they look like characters. Persons of the two vehicles perceive them as the void. The people of the two vehicles, right? Learning and realization. They're just so caught up in the words that their understanding of the words, the characters when they see them, is the void. But the void is a misunderstanding of what emptiness is. Emptiness is not about the void. It's about non-substantiation, or that substantiation, instantiation, is an ephemeral, moment-to-moment, impermanent, an effect of the cause of momentum. Bodhisattvas look on them as innumerable doctrines, right? The teachings that lead us to Gohonzon, right? Buddhas recognize each character as a golden Shakyamuni. They see enlightenment in the characters, not, right? They don't have to be guided to enlightenment. They see the characters as embodying enlightenment itself. This is what is meant by the passage that says, quote, if one can uphold this sutra, one will be upholding the Buddha's body. And again, that's that reference to the three bodies. We are, in samsara, one of the three bodies. Our mind represents the potential for the instantiation body of Buddha, and the reward, the experience of that Buddha mind, the three bodies. Those who practice with distorted views, however, are destroying this most precious sutra because they're getting hung up on the words or on the stories. They're not seeing the purpose of the words. You should simply be careful that without differing thoughts, that you single-mindedly aspire to the pure land of Eagle Peak, the ceremony in the sky, the experience of Gohonzon or Buddhahood. That should be your only focus. A passage in the Six Paramita Sutra says to become the master of your mind rather than to let your mind master you. I will explain this in detail when I see you. With my deep respect, Nichiren. So, another short letter. But this one, again, written to somebody who's an avid student, right? A fellow monk. A monk who will be disseminating these teachings, this doctrine, the doctrine of the Lotus Sutra via Nichiren's elucidations to others. So he's not mincing a lot of words here. He's saying you need to understand that when you recite the Expedient Means chapter, the verse section of the lifespan chapter, that each character, each sound, each energetic effort that you make in reciting any part of this sutra, you are instantiating Buddha-ness. You are experiencing the transmigration from samsara through Gohonzon mind to Buddha-ness. And this is the training. This is the constant reminder we need to give our samsaric monkey mind to perceive not with the human eye of ordinary beings, but with the Buddha eye of profound understanding and compassion, right? The compassion comes with the territory. You don't have to look for it. No pun intended. All right. So, shall I make this a separate? Yeah, this will be a short video, but because this is a new letter now, the heritage of the ultimate law of life, I'm going to stop here and thank you once again for participating, for listening, for being a part of this practice. Thank you for your support. Don't forget about the ebooks and your suggestions. I look forward to seeing them. Take a little break and rest my throat. And then I'll start this next letter, which also is not a very long one, but I'll make a separate video for it so that I think it's easier to keep track this way. Let me know what your thoughts are on that as well. And I will see you in that next one. All right? Thanks again. Take care of your health. Keep your practice strong. Bye for now.